Hello friends, welcome to this week's video from Culture Katha. Unlike say in Christianity or Judaism and what we call Hinduism today, God is not always a male, nor is she always a female. Sometimes they are both, like the Ardhanarishvara, who is half Shiva and half Parvati, or Vaikunta Kamalaja, who is half Vishnu and half Lakshmi. In today's video, we are going to try and understand how this androgynous form of the god came to be, what its underlying significance is, and how its symbolism has changed over time. The earliest images we have of Ardhanarishvara is dated to the period of the Kushan kings. That's nearly 2000 years ago. Although the images of Ardhanarishvara are fairly common in temples of the north and western India, it's only in the south, especially in Tamil Nadu, where we find temples dedicated exclusively to the god. The most popular, of course, being the Ardhanarishvara temple at Tiruchengodu in the Salem district of Tamil Nadu. Borrowing from this popular idea of the Ardhanari, the Vaikunta Kamalaja form of Vishnu came up in Nepal and Kashmir areas. Although there are no myths associated with this form, several texts on Vaishnavism such as the Pancharatra Agamas and works on Shilpa Shastra such as the Shilparatna make a reference to this form of Vishnu. But how and where did this idea or concept of an androgynous god originate? And how have they changed with time? As always, to get to the bottom of this, we have to travel back in time to the Vedic period. In the Vedic times, Agni was among the most important deities, second only to Indra. Besides being the carrier of sacrificial offerings to the gods and being the mediator between men and the gods, Agni was seen as the cosmic energy that pervaded the entire universe. And Surya, or the sun, was considered one of the important aspects of Agni, the Agni in the sky. The Vedic man identified the productive powers of the universe with the sun. Without the sun, there was no life. So Surya or Aditya was considered an integral part of Agni. But through time, as the Vedic religion gave way to the Puranic way of life, the nature and forms of these deities changed. Vedic Agni became the Puranic Shiva, and Surya or Aditya became the Puranic Vishnu. Even though Aditya became Vishnu, he continued to be associated with the fertile and productive feminine powers of nature. And that's the reason why Vishnu appears in the female form of Mohini in our stories. While Rudra or Shiva express the fiery masculine aspects of Agni, Vishnu represented the feminine procreative aspects. And these ideas were fused together in the form of Harihara, or the half Vishnu, half Shiva form. Although Shaivism and Vaishnavism later branched out as fiercely independent sects, the Harihara form is a reminder of the common roots of their origins. Abundant references to the Harihara form, also known as the Hariyardha form, can be found in texts such as the Bhagavata Purana and the Markandeya Purana. It is this very same idea of Harihara that is also represented by the Linga and the Yoni, the coming together of the Prakriti, the female principle, and Purusha, the male principle. It is the union of these male and female principles that leads to creation. So Ardhanari is nothing but the anthropomorphic or humanized form of the Linga and the Yoni, Shiva and Parvati. Parvati is depicted as the creative female principle in the Ardhanari image, similar to Vishnu in the Harihara form. On a side note, we now know why Parvati is considered the sister of Vishnu and is also sometimes shown carrying Vishnu's chakra, the discus, and Shankha, the conch, that we know to be distinct emblems of Vishnu. Friends, over time, the idea of Ardhanari has come to mean different things to different people. For the staunch followers of Shiva, the image represented the all-pervasiveness of Shiva. He was both the man and the woman. There was nothing outside of him, nothing beyond him. Some scholars have, however, interpreted Ardhanari as the coming together of the Shaiva and the Shakta sects. But in more recent times, the idea of Ardhanari has come to symbolize equality of the genders. Neither gender is inferior to the other. They both are equal. But even as we talk, the symbolism of the Ardhanari continues to change. In January 2020, this year, for the first time in the history of Tamil Nadu, Riya, a trans woman, was elected as a member of the Panchayat Union in the Tiruchengodu constituency. So was it merely a coincidence that Riya was elected from a place where stands the temple of Ardhanari, who is half woman? In Tamil Nadu, this androgynous form is referred to as Ammayappan, the god who is both the father and the mother. Not only is our god both our father and mother, both male and female, he or she is also everything in between. For in Hindu belief, the entire manifested universe is pervaded by an underlying principle called the Brahman. This genderless Brahman binds the male, the female, and everyone else in the same knot. To use a relevant analogy, we are all like the light that passes through a prism. Each of us may reflect a different color of the spectrum, but the underlying light is the same. Friends, till we meet again, it's Tata, bye bye, take care as you dwell on this thought.